Welcome back to Travel Like an Ocean. I'm so happy you're back watching this video today. Boy, is it a good one. My question for you is, have you ever wondered what are the 8 best places to meet someone if you're a solo cruiser? Well, today I'm going to share that information with you from my perspective, and at the end of this, you'll be poised to meet some awesome people. To set the expectation, this isn't a sexy time video. What I mean by that is I'm not giving tips for hooking up, but what I am doing is giving you a great opportunity to have conversations with people, make connections, and who knows what happens. My intent is not to do that type of salacious video. So if you're not interested in platonic relationships, then please feel free to check out and see me in my next video. One last note, at the end of this, if you have additional questions, please leave them below and I'll be happy to answer them. Let's cut the jibber jabber. More after this. Overall, sometimes being a solo traveler offers the best opportunity to meet new people. I like to make connections on cruises because it's just what I do. I'm a very social person, and I'm very interested in hearing the stories of people who are out cruising, whether it be with family, friends, as a couple, older, younger, it doesn't matter. I'm very interested in understanding what are their motivations to be out cruising, and I happily share mine. I share my story and I share what I do on this channel with many people. I try to express my sincerity and honesty with folks because they get it. They understand that it's all about getting out in the world, trying new things, and having great adventures. And for those of you who think I have a problem being a solo cruiser, that's just not true. It's not so bad being a solo traveler when I have so many opportunities to meet very interesting people and share their stories. Just so I don't digress, here are my 8 observations, and they are in no particular order. Number 1, standing in lines. You would be pleasantly surprised to understand all the opportunities there are to meet people in standing in various lines, whether that be at the airport in TSA line, or waiting for your flight, or waiting at the terminal, the cruise port terminal, waiting to get on your cruise, to actually getting on the cruise and standing in the various lines, whether it be at a meal or at an entertainment venue, or even in a line waiting for your drink at the bar. These are all great opportunities to identify individuals that you'd like to reach out to and say hello. And it always starts with a hello and how are you doing? And before you know it, you're starting to have great conversations. You don't have to be a social butterfly if someone is standing in front of you or behind you to take that opportunity to try to connect. Number 2, poolside or hot tubs. This probably is the most favorite place that I like to connect and have conversations with people. The majority of my information I get for a lot of my videos comes from conversations I have when I meet people poolside or in the hot tub. Whether I'm sitting back enjoying a cocktail or just bubbling away the day in the hot water of the hot tub, I always find an opportunity to talk to great people, and they love to share their stories. I don't beat them over the head with my travel stories because that can be boring. Half the time, I really like to listen, find out what people are saying, find out about their lives, and when they invite me in to ask about what's going on in my life, then I share with them the information about myself, Travel Like an Ocean, and my love for cruising in general. On many occasions, I've met people and actually stayed in contact with them over the years because it's just a great way to connect. Number 3, meet and greets. I gotta hand it to the cruise lines. They really key in on making sure there's an environment for people to get together. For example, on Virgin Voyages, they have a specific single or solo cruiser night where they bring together, or they invite all solo cruisers to a venue, usually Razzle Dazzle, and it gives you an opportunity to meet people that you absolutely know are solo sailors. This isn't a hookup event or a dating event. This is more who amongst you are solo travelers and do you want to connect? And that's exactly what I did on several occasions. I made friends. We shared a great meal. Also on Royal Caribbean as another cruise line, they have wonderful events where they have wine tastings, which are dubbed as solo events, and people come and meet each other. Or they'll have something listed in the daily planner. Carnival has a daily planner, and it's very clear in those planners the events that are set aside for solo travelers, for people to get together. Be vigilant about checking your guide or listening up for opportunities to go on these meet and greets, be meeting wonderful people, and it's a good time to be able to socialize and make those connections. Number 4, out on excursions. I really like this one because you're not only limited to the audience of your cruise. If you go to a port, especially if you don't partake on the cruise excursions, let's say you go outside the ship and you find a port activity through someone local, what you then have is the opportunity to meet a whole bunch of people from the various cruises. On average, there are going to be 2 or 3 ships at dock when you pull in. And the good thing about that is not all of them are going to be taking ship-sponsored excursions. So what you can do is take a non-ship sponsored excursion, go on that excursion, and then the majority of people, if not all of the people, will be new to you, and it's a great opportunity to forge new friendships, have conversations, and make connections. Let me caution you though, any type of excursion you take that's not supported by the cruise line runs you in danger of not getting back to the ship in time. One of the benefits of taking a ship-based excursion is that if you're going to be late, the ship will wait for you. And even if the ship has to leave, because there's some instances, let's say the tour group can't get you back to the ship, then the cruise line will put you up and do everything in their power to get you to the ship at the next port, where you can then catch back up with the cruise. That's a big shout out for excursions with the cruise line for that added protection. However, the downside is ship-sponsored excursions tend to be very expensive, so you want to work that into your budget. Now, getting back to the whole meet and greet, again, you're going to be meeting a whole bunch of people. Even if the excursion is based off of everyone from your ship, it is a high probability that you haven't met many of the people on the bus, the catamaran, or at the beach club, or wherever it is that you go on that excursion. And then you have other opportunities to connect with them, have these conversations. And hey, you make a friendship, you can say, let's have dinner back on the boat. So take that as a bit of advice. Making friends on excursions is a wonderful idea. Number 5, during meals. Now this one could be a little tricky because if you're a solo traveler, it's likely that you're going to be sat at a two-top or a smaller table unless you opt in for the cruise line assigning you to a table with random people. In fact, I would recommend that you spend half your cruise having dinner with strangers you don't know, and the other half doing your own thing as a solo cruiser, just so that you get that balance. And the good news is it doesn't hurt either way. If you do choose to have dinner as a solo traveler alone, the opportunities you have to meet with other people exists in the fact that people are sitting right next to you. People are, as you're walking through the restaurant, you can make eye contact. You could say hello. You may have seen someone from an earlier activity, let's say an excursion, and you see them at dinner. Now you can make plans to meet up and have a drink at one of the bars or hang out later on the ship. This whole concept of having dinner and meeting people is a strategy if you want to just extend yourself a little. And it's okay to just sit down, have a good meal, and then go someplace else on the ship to socialize. So don't let that stop you either. Dinner time is a great time to meet people as a solo traveler. Number 6, at the various bars and lounges. This is more your traditional meet and greet place in any social situation. However, meeting someone at a bar or a lounge may have that connotation of you trying to pick someone up, and that may be your intentions, But again, my focus here isn't to be a pickup artist. Motivation here is to say that this is a great place to be social. You have the libations flowing. It's going to lower people's inhibitions and their walls will start to drop. And it's a perfect opportunity for you to have great conversation. Start off your conversation with asking a couple, what are they drinking or where are they from? And then jump off from there. Once you start having those types of connections and conversations, and make sure you make your intentions known that you're just being social, it's going to go well. The people are going to respond to that, and you're going to have great conversations and make new friends. And it's a wonderful place for a solo cruiser to meet someone. Number 7, at the ship's nightclub. This is, I gotta say, of all of the things on the list, this is a harder way to meet someone and talk to them on a platonic level, because the whole setup of a lounge or a nightclub is so that people are socializing and they're dancing and they're trying to get to know one another. It's almost set up to spell out hookup, but it isn't, right? If you clearly see that someone is with their significant other, or if someone's even alone, or a bunch of friends are together and you want to talk to one of the people in that group, you start by talking to everyone in the group. And anyone who wants to have a conversation with you on the side, you have that conversation with them. You're not trying to be a pickup artist. You're just trying to express your love for travel and your love for being there and the love of their company. That will really serve you well. I know those environments, those nightclub and lounge environments could be a little sketchy, but if you don't put on the creep glasses and the creep vibe, you should be fine. So it is a wonderful place to make this list as one of the places as a solo traveler to meet wonderful people. Number 8, during shipboard activities. This is one of my favorite ones because I am an avid trivia freak. And one of the activities they do during a sea day is they have various trivia contests, whether it be the movies or Harry Potter or Star Trek, or I even was in one, Ian Fleming's James Bond over the years, the various movies. All great topics. And the great thing is, if you're a solo traveler, there is a group of people. It's an easy way to say, hey, can I join your team? More likely than not, they're gonna say yes. And 2 or 3 questions in, you're all laughing, you're having a good time, you're making connections, and before you know it, you have a lifelong friend. So I really like the shipboard activities that allow opportunities to make friends. Simply said, all of these opportunities that are supported by the ship during sea days are wonderful opportunities to get to know your fellow cruisers. And as a solo sailor, it's even better because you don't have those inhibitions of having to worry about what your partner or who your travel buddy is worrying about. You can just dive right in and make friends to your liking. Okay, in summary, I'd like to share that the act of being a solo sailor does not preclude you from making friends with others on the cruise. In fact, I would encourage anyone, whether you're a solo sailor or not, to reach out to other fellow passengers and try to make connections, because we're in that cruise life together. We're all there, whether you got there and you're a mailman or you're an engineer or the lunch lady at school. If you're on a cruise, you are all in the same place. You want to get to know one another. It's all about having fun. It's all about sharing adventures. It's all about getting out there and enjoying yourself. With that, I want to thank you again for joining me today on Travel Like an Oching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I'll be happy to address them and share this with someone that you want to share this information with. I appreciate it. Thank you again, and until next time. What they have, the various alcohol, the liquor tastings or the wine tastings, or even food demonstrations or food shows, or going to the various events across the ship where they're cut. Unless you take the option of being seated. Cut. Okay. Here we go. One take, Ochin. Remember to like and subscribe and click that bell.